What's going on? I want to talk about how my ego tied to my nuts. And just let me tell you the story. It started off when I was about 16 or 17. I was in the 10th grade, 11th grade, and one morning my uncle called me. He was like, could you take me to work on your way to school? It was my Uncle Rick. He was staying in Boulevard Homes. And normally I was taking this girl. She was riding to school with me. Girl I was messing with. So I told her, I was like, well, I got to take my uncle. I said, you catch the bus. So I went and picked him up, took him to work. On the way taking him to work, my stomach started hurting.
It reached.
So I was
1 mile completed.
Dang.
Burn calories,
so I dropped him off.
Calories.
I was like,
Average
I'm going to go
speed
home
2.7 miles per hour.
and use the bathroom.
Current speed 2.7 miles per hour.
And
estimated total time 40.
When I went home and got out the car, my stomach and my nuts just started hurting real bad. So I went in the house and I was like, Mom, something wrong with me. Something wrong with me. So I was on the house hurting. She was like, what? I said, my stomach and my nuts hurt. So the first thing she said, you done caught something. I said, no, Mom, I use rubbers. You know, because at that time, you know, I was busting them nuts like a mug. And, you know, I was pumping iron like a mug, you know, in weight training and stuff. So I didn't know what was wrong. But, so she took me to the emergency room. And when we got to the emergency room, the pain went away. So they was curious to what was wrong with me. They had me on the table, got there and examining my nuts, looking all at my nuts. So they was like, I had twisted testicles. And they was saying it's only happening so many people. So at the time, you know, it was like, darn, man. And this was after football season. So we had our banquet coming up. And this is when I first started getting my ego checked and realized, because I could say, going into that, I could say, man, I was driving, had plenty of money in high school. Me and my homeboy Adam, man, we were knocking them down all over school and all the other schools. I was just riding a mighty high. Couldn't tell me nothing. Coming off a season, I led the county in sacks for 11 weeks. You know what I mean? Just couldn't tell me nothing. So I had this operation on my nuts. And after the operation was right around the time for the banquet. So, you know, I had the big head because I knew I was getting a trophy or whatever. But I remember at the banquet, old coach was talking about me. He was making jokes on me about my nuts. So it was like my ego, it's like, you know, it's like I was forced to be humble because everybody was laughing at me and everything like that. So I went up there and got my MVP. And it was just a hard check. It was a reality check, you know, humble me down. You know, I had to humble myself and be the butt of the joke. But anyway, so after that, man, I think when I had got my stitches, when the stitches had came out, I was gonna go out with my cousin Papa. So the first time I went out, and I remember thinking like, man, I gotta bust me a nut to see if my shit gonna feel different. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was on the hunt. I said, goddamn shit, I don't know what's going on, but ain't nothing wrong with my shit. So I had went out, me and him went out that day. It was on a Friday night, Friday or Saturday night. But I came in the house, it was about 3 o'clock. When I walked in the house, my daddy goddamn hit me in the chest, jacked me up all at one time. Boom! He He said, motherfucker, you out here all time of night. Goddamn stitches in your nuts. Goddamn got me and your mama worried about you. And when he hit me, you know, he stunned me. But more than anything, you know, I was like, God damn, this man's strong as hell. This motherfucker lift me up. You know what I mean? I was strong, big, my damn self. You know, I remember I almost peed in my clothes. Goddamn, I went and laid in the bed, and you know, he was in there just going off. But I was just amazed and like, damn, this motherfucker strong as hell. So up until this point, you know, my nuts in this situation pretty much put me in check to let me know I'm still a child. I'm still in school. I'm still young. And through the experience of this, it's teaching me something to put myself back in perspective, put my ego back in perspective. The one that said it ain't all about me. Two, anything can happen to you. You gotta be careful. And you know, just know that. So that lesson made me stronger going forward. Then, you know, I graduated from high school and got a job. When I was working at this job, when I went to this job, I was excited. For one, it was part of the reason, you know, being the fact that I didn't go to college. You know, I got this job and I told myself, I say, well, being that I didn't go to college, with this job I got in 4 years, everybody who graduated me that went to college gonna have to catch me. I said, I'm gonna make enough money. I'm gonna have me a house. I'm gonna have me cars. I'm gonna have me a bank account. I'm gonna have all this shit in 4 years. That was my plan. So going to this job, it was a whole bunch of old men worked there. I've been there 20-some years. At the time, they was all making $25 an hour, working overtime, making $60,000, $70,000 a year. And this was in 1998. So when I came there, I had a competitive athletic mind fresh out of high school. And all they was telling me about was the possibilities of making all this money. So I say, well, shit, ain't none of y'all old motherfuckers stronger than me, faster than me at nothing. I'm gonna make all the money. But what they was doing was, they was giving me all the hard orders, all the big cuts of paper, making it kind of hard for me to even get to production. But I was determined to fight the odds. So the old men used to tell me, they used to say, boy, you gonna hurt yourself lifting that paper like that. But just me being young and bullheaded, I always took it as, you know, they just hating on me. They hating on me. They hating on me. So I was cutting that motherfucking paper like a motherfucking madman. Boom, y'all nigga, I'm gonna get all this money. Goddamn, can't nobody, I'm the greatest. You know, that was my attitude. So, and, you know, it took a lot. This was one of them type of jobs where, you know, I tell people, I worked at a job where I watched grown men come in there thanking God for a job that they was gonna make all this money on. And when we got going, within 3 hours, them motherfuckers quit. They say they can't work like this. They ain't never been able to work like this. So it was a man's job. I remember one time I had this white dude come. He was a Waffle House cook. And they would always try to make it hard for me by giving me an old bullshitter helper and things like that. But this white dude, you know, he thought, well, I'm a white man. This shit gonna come easy to me. So I put that motherfucking wood on his ass. And goddamn, he quit. And, you know, that was when I was on it. But then I had strained my groin and fucked my nuts up again. And all the old men said, I told you. So I had to file a workers' comp and went to the doctor. My groin, every time I would grab that paper, I could feel it in my nuts. And this taught me another lesson. Put my ego in check to say, hey, you gotta start listening to these old men and stop thinking everybody against you. So it taught me something, man. You know what I mean? It gave me another level of maturity. You know, like I say, it put my ego in check, threw my nuts once again. So I moved to another machine, became the greatest in that, where I didn't have to use my strength so much. And you know, now, you know, up in here recently, just turning 40, you done heard me talk about how I love busting wood. And, you know, I got into it because busting wood, what I felt like was saving my life. It was giving me exercise. It was helping me breathe. It was teaching me a lot. Then my daddy would tell me, he said, son, you can't do all that wood like you're doing. He said, slow down. But once again, my ego, you know, tell me I'm the greatest at this shit. He just goddamn, he don't want to see me shine. Want to tell me her, you know, dude give me some wood. He told me, he said, man, you ought to buy you a wood buster, a wood splitter. But I explained to him, you know, this exercise. But he told me, like I say, my ego tell me I can do it, ain't nothing gonna hurt me. But after about 3 years of busting that wood, here in the past year ago, I started having pain down in my groins again, going to the doctor, my midsection. And you know, once again, it gave me that ego check to say, man, you 40 years old, man. You better goddamn you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. So I said, the hell with wood, took it easy, man. Laid back, everything got going. So it's like, you know, like I say, my ego is tied to my nuts, man. The only thing that can stop me is me. And every time my ego start roaring and I start thinking, you know what I mean, man, goddamn, you know, I just can't be stopped. My nuts will ring like bells. But like, boy, you better hold on, goddamn, calm yourself down. And every time this happens, I feel like I go into another level of maturity. You know what I mean? I don't know if this makes sense to anybody at all, but hey, it's some real shit to me though. Hey, my ego tied to my nuts.